Now, this is the Fox 11 News at 10.
Canceled or delayed flights causing a very unhappy Christmas for people all across the country. How it's impacting travelers at LAX.
A Christmas standoff in the Inland Empire, a man shooting at his neighbors, how it all came to an end.
And they served up entertainment with the usual holiday meals. We'll show you how the Laugh Factory celebrated Christmas. Good evening, I'm Chelsea Edwards.
And I'm Hailey Winslow. Susan Hirosuna and Christina Pascucci have the night off. Merry Christmas to you. Let's go live out to LAX. You are looking at our camera here with people returning from their holiday trips. Check out that traffic. Oh my goodness. Here at LAX, we're looking at the tip of the iceberg of a holiday travel mess that is being caused by the storms back east.
Yeah, and Hal Eisner live at the airport where he talked to travelers who are being impacted by all the fallout from those storms. Hal.
Yeah, I don't think it's an overstatement that it's been a fairly frustrating holiday travel season for an awful lot of people, nationally for sure, and here at LAX as well, particularly here at Terminal 1. Let me give you a couple of examples. Dave Fleming and his family were going to go to Reno for a ski trip, but after hours and hours of delays...
We're done. We're leaving.
But Dave says...
We're in a bit of a pickle because our bags are still on the plane.
And his wife Jen is downstairs with the kids and...
We're trying to get it pulled off the plane so we can go home.
It's a story we heard over and over again in the arrival area of Terminal 1.
Going to Vegas, flight got canceled, which is fine, but they did a terrible job at figuring out where people's bags that were canceled are going.
We were delayed. Our flight was 2:55 delayed. There was a lot of storm issues causing planes to get delayed from other parts of the country.
When things start to go wrong, it just is a domino effect.
Clint Henderson with thepointsguy.com says that resulted in a ripple effect.
Yeah, we're up to almost 3,000 cancellations across the country today, and that's not even including delays. So once those planes are out of position, you start a chain reaction, and it just ends up being real messy for a lot of people.
Because of delays, Robert Borowski was stuck in the Oakland airport for 4 hours. He says there were lots of cancellations and delays up there, but when he got down here, he couldn't find where his bags were. Before we left, he did.
My oversized bag just came in. I got my golf clubs. Tonight's going to be a great night. Not what I had planned, but it's working out all right. Merry Christmas.
Right, Merry Christmas for sure. You know, Clint Henderson with thepointsguy.com says this is something that could stretch out for a week or maybe even more because of that ripple effect that he was talking about. So as always, two pieces of advice. One, stay in touch with your air carrier. And number two, give yourself plenty of time when you come out here to LAX. At LAX, I'm Hal Eisner, Fox 11 News. Chelsea, Haley, back to you.
In Skyfox over the Santa Susana Pass, where one person died, another was injured when a car went over the side of Susana Pass Road. Take a look at this video. One person airlifted by an LA City fire helicopter was taken right to the hospital. The CHP says still early in the investigation. They can't say yet why the car went off the road. Thankfully, no other cars were involved in this crash. And also developing tonight, a driver in critical condition after crashing his car into several light poles, a parked car, then an apartment building in the Hollywood Hills. Take a look at this damage. This is on Cahuenga Boulevard. This is the opposite side of the freeway from the Hollywood Bowl. Firefighters had to cut the 30-year-old man out of the car so he could be rushed to a trauma center. There appeared to be little to no damage, though, to that building.
All right, if you are stuck in LA, there are worse places to be stuck, right? We had some beautiful weather today, widespread 70s and low 80s, even some mid 80s. You could be stuck in Bismarck, for example, where it is currently 0 degrees, or in Billings, 36, Minneapolis, 8, even down in Florida, it hasn't really gotten above 50 degrees there. Hotlanta, 24, Boston, 22, 20 in New York. Doesn't that make you appreciate sunny Southern California? Santa definitely delivered the sunshine here. We had some record-breaking heat. Check it out. Catalina Island hit 81 today, same with Thousand Oaks. Orange, 83, same with downtown LA. Riverside, LAX, this was tied for a record back in the 40s. And then Woodland Hills, 85, also making a record. By the way, do you recognize this face? That's Christina Gonzalez, scuba diving in Catalina, where it was 57 degrees in the water today. All right, back to you, Chelsea.
Residents of a Murrieta neighborhood are told to stay indoors as SWAT teams try to take down a gunman who was shooting at people's homes this morning.
This is the Murrieta Police Department. Come out the front door with your hands up.
This all happening in the Las Brisas neighborhood. There's some bullet holes you can see there from the shots the suspect allegedly fired right into his neighbor's windows. That's why SWAT teams told everyone to stay indoors, stay low and away from windows. It took hours, but negotiators finally got the suspect to drop his weapon, leave the home, then walk out backwards with his hands up. SWAT tackled him. He was taken into custody, as you can see there. Neighbors we talked to say they still can't believe this was their Christmas morning.
The guy was randomly shooting at houses, shot the window of our master bedroom out and the TV. The first 6 gunshots, I thought somebody got a new gun, and 15 minutes later they were hitting a house. It scared me to death.
Scared a lot of people. The good news is, though, nobody was injured. Murrieta police now trying to figure out what motivated the suspect to shoot at his neighbors' homes on Christmas morning.
Tragedy on Christmas Day at a Jehovah's Witness worship hall in Thornton, Colorado. Police received a call about a fire there this morning. Then that 2 victims, a husband and wife, are dead. So police believe the husband shot his wife and then turned the gun on himself. They were both members of the congregation. Police are still investigating suspicious devices that were found at that worship hall.
And New York's governor says this weekend's snowstorm is the most devastating in Buffalo's history. Governor Kathy Hochul says her state is in a war with Mother Nature.
A deadly winter storm is pummeling much of the U.S., trapping rescue workers in their vehicles, knocking out power to millions, and killing dozens. Hurricane-force winds and snow caused whiteout conditions in Buffalo, New York, dumping 6 feet in some places.
This will go down in history as the most devastating storm in Buffalo's long storied history of having battled many battles, many major storms.
New York Governor Kathy Hochul says the Biden administration has agreed to support her request for a federal disaster declaration. Local officials say the death toll could rise.
There may be more. I don't want to say that this is going to be it, because it would be fallacy for me to say that, because we know there are people who've been stuck in cars for more than 2 days, and there are people in homes that are below freezing now temperatures. I offer my deepest condolences to the families, some of whom probably have not actually been notified yet.
This is a war with Mother Nature, and she has been hitting us with everything she has since the late hours of Thursday into Friday, Saturday, and now on Christmas morning. I cannot overstate how dangerous the conditions still are. We need people to stay off the roads. Yes, one more day. I know it's Christmas. I know how hard it is. You came off of a couple of years of being separated during the pandemic. It's heartbreaking. But to keep you safe, and to all those who have left the security of their homes to help you keep safe, we need your cooperation. Just hang in there one more day.
Millions of people across the country have hunkered down as a deep freeze combined with snow, ice, and howling winds. The massive system has also impacted travel during the busy holiday weekend, forcing thousands of flight cancellations. As of Sunday, more than 150,000 homes and businesses were still without power.
And at least 17 people have died in Erie and Niagara counties because of this blizzard. And across several states, at least 34 people have died, some while trapped in their cars.
Across the border to Canada now, where the storm caused massive power outages in 2 provinces. To get a glimpse of what people are dealing with, we go to our own Christina Pascucci in Quebec. She was celebrating Christmas with her family when they got stuck in the storm and lost power.
Merry Christmas. So good to be with you. You can see my breath. It is freezing cold here in the mountains near Quebec City, Canada, and the eastern part of the country. Look at how much snow we've gotten just the past 2 days here. It is pretty astounding to see. Also, you might notice it is dark behind me. That is because we are one of the thousands of people without power. So wanted to give you some perspective here of what some of the millions impacted by this weather are dealing with across the U.S. and Canada, as you in LA have 75-degree weather.
Happy birthday to you.
There you see families in candlelight celebrating Jesus' birthday, trying to make the most of it. Energy company Hydro-Quebec said as of Christmas morning, about 120,000 people were still without power for the 3rd day, mostly in the Quebec City region. While some danced for joy when their power came back on, others waited and waited to no avail. As of Sunday night, there were still 2,000 separate mini outages impacting tens of thousands of customers after record hurricane-force winds toppled trees. There was heavy blowing snow that made for treacherous driving conditions with limited visibility. There was storm surge and historic flooding from the St. Lawrence River. All of that just some of what was brought on by this so-called weather bomb.
No power, Christmas Eve. We're sitting here. We have one source of energy, firewood.
With no heat and temperatures dipping to single digits, people slept in ski clothes. Families stored Christmas dinner in the snow to stop food from going bad. With no hot water, there were no showers to be had, but those impacted were grateful for the workers operating heavy machinery to clear roads and bring in supplies.
He's saving us.
Might be heavy, it's okay. I got it. Okay.
Those trying to get out of the area and fly out, the one-way flights with one stop from Quebec City to LAX cost $83,000, if you can believe that. There's almost nothing that's out there right now. The silver lining in all of this, though, is that Santa still showed up on Christmas.
Thank you so much for the cake pop, which I loved and shared with my reindeer. Love you. Merry Christmas, Santa.
Wow.
We're going to thaw out a little bit now here inside. Hydro-Quebec says it is working as quickly as possible to try to restore power to the impacted customers, but for now, those who still don't have power will have to have Christmas by the fire. I'm Christina Pascucci reporting near Quebec City for Fox 11 News. Merry Christmas.
Poor girl can't take off work even when she tries. All right, get home safe, Christina. She says the power, by the way, may not be restored in Quebec until Tuesday. I just talked to her. She's not even sleeping. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning there. For the latest weather, no matter where you or your family are going, download the Fox 11 weather app to track the storm so you know what's ahead.
Oh, hope she warms up. It's certainly nice to live in LA. Well, thousands of Angelenos celebrated Christmas Day by attending Mass at the downtown LA Cathedral of Our Lady of the Angels today. Through song and prayer, the devout celebrated the birth of Jesus Christ. Now, both the English and the Spanish services were broadcast on the air and online for those who couldn't get there in person. Archbishop Jose Gomez of the Los Angeles Catholic Diocese led those services. Eastern Orthodox Christians, including the Armenian and the Serbian Church, will celebrate Christmas on the 6th and 7th of January.
A lot more coming up on the Fox 11 News at 10. Busloads of migrants dropped off at the D.C. home of Vice President Kamala Harris. How will local support groups save them from the freezing cold?
And Christmas in a war zone, how they celebrated the holiday in Ukraine. In Oxnard, a fire in a converted garage kills one resident and badly injures 3 others. Firefighters arrived about 3 a.m. to find heavy smoke pouring out of the home. Rescuers got into that burning building and pulled out the 3 people inside. The 3 survivors all taken to hospitals in critical condition. Investigators say they're still looking into what caused that blaze. And several busloads of migrants from Texas were dropped off in front of Vice President Kamala Harris's residence in Washington, D.C. last night, where it was just 18 degrees outside.
David Kaplan explains what happened to the migrants once they got off the buses in those freezing
The organization here in D.C. that handled this response says they were expecting these 3 busloads full of migrants from Texas. However, they were expecting them Christmas Day, not on Christmas Eve. That caused a scramble to get resources together. Tonight, I talked with the managing director of that organization, SAMU First Response.
We had all our logistics already kind of last minute scramble for Sunday. But yesterday during the day, we had to quickly change plans, make sure the food was going to be delivered, that we were going to have enough blankets for these families arriving and be ready for them.
Tatiana Laborde says these 3 buses were originally headed to New York City from Texas, but diverted to D.C. because of the weather. Laborde helped organize her staff to come in, buses, food, and shelter to be ready for migrants who did not have clothing for the weather we've had here in recent days.
They were tired. It's a very long trip, and the weather condition, I think once they step out of the bus and feel the cold, that it's a different cold that they're used to.
Laborde says most of the migrants dropped off are already at or headed to their destination, many heading to the New York City area. And while these buses are getting attention for timing, they represent the 7th, 8th, and 9th buses of migrants in D.C. in the last week, she says.
This has not stopped. We have seen slowdown because of different policies or weather, but the constant flow of migrants continues to New York, Chicago, D.C.
The White House is putting the blame on Texas Governor Greg Abbott, calling it a cruel, dangerous, and shameful stunt. Kaplan says he reached out to Abbott but hasn't heard back yet.
And Russian President Vladimir Putin says he's prepared to negotiate with Ukraine, but Kyiv refusing peace talks.
We do not have any other choices but to protect our citizens. However, we are prepared to negotiate some acceptable outcomes with all the participants of this process. But it is their business. It is not us who refuse talks, it's them.
Christmas in Ukraine this year, much different than from years past. Nate Foy reports Russia continues its attack on cities across the war-torn country.
A more subdued Christmas celebration this year in Ukraine than previous years. Many are celebrating, but many are mourning, as Ukrainian authorities now say 16 Ukrainians were killed because of Russian shelling attacks in Kherson, 64 more injured. Take a look at these pictures this Christmas Day. People in the Kherson region lining up, ready to donate blood to help save the lives of the 64 people who are hurt. President Zelensky described the attack as terrorism. He has a much more positive message for Ukrainians this Christmas.
We will sing carols more cheerfully than ever, to be louder than the sound of the generator. You will hear the voices and greetings of our loved ones in our souls, even if the connection and the internet go down.
Even in the frontline city of Bakhmut, soldiers are finding any way they can to celebrate Christmas, some with Christmas trees in trenches. Russia has been pushing hard for the frontline city of Bakhmut since May. So far, they have not been able to take it. Soldiers also got quite a nice surprise in the Kharkiv region. Actors and musicians showed up. They put on performances so that the soldiers could celebrate Christmas as best as they could while fighting for their country. Take a look at this next video. The U.S.-based group Common Man for Ukraine visited 21 orphanages in the western part of the country and delivered presents to 1,300 orphans. The group's next goal is to deliver wood-burning stoves to help the Ukrainians who are dealing with power outages make it through the brutal winter. Here in Kyiv, take a look at this. Hundreds of people gathered at the train station to listen to Christmas carolers. A group performed for people passing through, many also gathering around as a Christmas tree and other decorations also were on hand. Here in Kyiv, power continues to be a big problem. In fact, bigger here than anywhere else in the country. The power deficiency rate is about 50% in the region. Reporting in Kyiv, Ukraine, I'm Nate Foy, Fox News.
Did Santa leave a gift card in your stocking today?
You know, he didn't, but I have like 4 in my wallet right now that I haven't used.
Well, you're not alone, Chelsea. Gift cards are the most requested presents, so why aren't people using them?
I don't know, but I want to find out. Plus, giving joy to those who don't have much around the holidays. How the Laugh Factory handing out smiles this Christmas.
It's working for us.
'22 almost over. Hard to believe. Many people looking to make changes in the new year, and for a lot of people that means a new career. A new study finds 25% of Americans want to completely change careers in 2023. The study, done by one poll, found the average American is even willing to complete 2 more years of school to do it. It also says about 33% of people want to switch roles within the same job field, but the top sector choices to switch into were technology and engineering. The key motivators are better pay and flexible schedules.
Ooh, like that. All right, it was down to the wire, but thousands of children in Whittier finally got their Christmas. The Freedom Church in Whittier hosted 3 toy giveaways today. They gave 5,000 toys to needy kids, from bikes and dolls to games galore, and kids could pick out their favorite gifts. It was all part of the annual Christmas at Freedom event that included a live holiday production. The church on Greenleaf also gave away toys on Christmas Eve as well. Unfortunately, the amount of giving at toy drives this year, though, is down because of inflation. Donations were lower this year, according to officials at the National Council of Nonprofits. The number of donations went up on Giving Tuesday, that was back in November, but the average donation amount went down. Toy drives were affected here in California, as well as in Michigan, Minnesota, North Dakota, and Florida.
I hope that changed for next year.
I hope so too. All right, Santa definitely brought the heat, but we are in for a big change this week. There is rain on the way. We will detail it all for you when we come back.
Plus, making people forget their troubles for Christmas, how comedians deliver laughs to those who need the most.
You're watching the Fox 11 News at 10.
Merry Christmas to you, and if it's Christmas, you know the Laugh Factory in Hollywood will be hosting a holiday meal for those who have nowhere else to go.
Yeah, and as in years past, the Comedy Club opened its doors today for food and for fun. Hal Eisner has a story.
You better not cry, you better not shout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Here at the Laugh Factory, you might call owner Jamie Masada Santa. Why? Because he buys gifts for the kids and serves up Christmas meals for the downtrodden. What started this? What was the motivation behind this?
The motivation was behind the time I came to this country from Iran. I didn't have no place to go. I slept in a garage. If I make it, I got to give back. That's how it started.
And in 43 years, he's served so many Christmas meals, and his comedy friends like Tiffany Haddish and Craig Robinson have given of their time to put smiles on the faces of those who don't often have reason to smile.
Everybody got to sing, though. We got to sing.
This is important to you coming here for dinner for Christmas.
Yes, it is.
Why?
Otherwise, I would be home by myself, just in my room. But I like coming here because we were like all family, and I like coming here to watch the comedians.
They say laughter is the best medicine, and laughing makes you skinny, so everybody should leave here healthy and skinny, right?
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
You're up there, you're playing, you're singing together, and these people are smiling out there.
I just you know, we're all in the moment. That's the goal, to get everybody just on one accord.
I'm feeling a lot of empathy and also a lot of camaraderie because I know how they feel. I've been there. I know what it feels like not to have a home. I know what it feels like when your family doesn't have enough to eat, and so you got to figure out some other kind of way. And for them to be able to come here with us and spend time with us, I think it's super awesome and an opportunity for them to have some joy.
At the Laugh Factory was another successful year. 4 servings and some 2,000 meals for people who really enjoyed them. In West Hollywood, I'm Hal Eisner, Fox 11 News.
Take a look at LAX. This is the arrivals of Terminal 1. Check out all these people coming back into town. And if you weren't here, you missed the 80-degree weather. We had amazing, record-breaking heat thanks to Santa Claus. And we're going to be going from record heat to record moisture for the month of December. We have got rain on the way. It's coming in the form of an atmospheric river, a weak to moderate one, that basically is concentrated moisture in the air that's going to dump a whole lot of rain on us at once. And that's going to come mainly Tuesday night to Wednesday morning. That's going to be widespread rain. Then we have some scattered rain coming probably Thursday to Friday, and then another round for New Year's. You're probably going to have a wet New Year's, another round of widespread rain for especially LA and Ventura County. So this is Tuesday, 7 p.m. Look at it. It's all green, the entire area, and it is going to be with us on and off throughout the whole week. Every single day has a chance of rain, in fact, until New Year's Day, the 1st of 2023. But you know that we need it. If you were out and about today, this would have been the day to go out in nature, to enjoy the beach, to go scuba diving. Tomorrow is also going to be warm, but it's going to be cooler. We're going to have some more clouds come in, and then we're going to drop about 20 degrees from our highs today by Thursday. But check it out right now. Not too bad. Ontario, 55. Lancaster, 42. Burbank, 65. Much better than Quebec City, right? 53 in Long Beach, 51 in Camarillo, and Palm Springs checking in right now at 55. Same with Oxnard. All right, here are your highs for tomorrow. Not quite as great as we saw today, but still really nice. 71 going to be at the coast. LA Inland OC, 77. Close to 80 in the valley and the IE, as well as 80 in the low deserts. 69 in the high deserts, and in the mountains, 60 degrees. Now that's going to be your warmest day in the mountains for the next 7 for sure, because it's going to drop quite a bit. If you didn't get a chance to go outside, here's a little sunshine for your Christmas night. It was a stunner today. We saw 80s everywhere. I mean, so many places, the valleys, the coast, Catalina Island, Riverside, Orange, all hitting the 80s, and record-breaking heat today for Christmas Day. Look at that sunshine. Thank you, Santa Claus. It was a beautiful, beautiful day. You see the high clouds. We are going to have some more clouds come in tomorrow. They're also going to lower quite a bit. There's my dog. Hello, Mumford. And then we're going to have some rain come in. Really, Tuesday night to Wednesday morning is going to be the main part of the frontal boundaries. But you can see all those people surfing. There were lots of people bike riding, kids using their new little tricycles. It was beautiful. All right, here are your overnight lows. 31 tonight in Lancaster. It's going to drop down in the 50s in Burbank, Santa Monica, LA, and Long Beach. Victorville dropping down to 38 tonight, 50 in Ontario, and 51 in San Bernardino. All right, taking a look at your 7-day outlook. All right, here you go. This is it, 71 at the coast tomorrow. Then it's going to be in the 60s. Check it out. New Year's is looking like 61. You do have a pretty significant chance of some showers New Year's Eve to New Year's Day. But make sure you tune in because the timeline is kind of changing on when exactly it will come. Again, we're thinking it's going to be Tuesday night to Wednesday, then some isolated scattered showers Thursday to Friday, and then another round of rain on the weekend, Saturday to Sunday. LA Inland OC 77 tomorrow, then in the 60s. Valleys in the IE 78, and then in the 60s, dropping down to 58 and 59 on Thursday and Friday. And here's those mountains for you I was talking about. Other than tomorrow, it's going to be in the 40s and the 50s, 39 on New Year's, and then 69 in the high desert, dropping down to 56 by New Year's. 80 tomorrow in Palm Springs, a little bit cooler in Thermal and Indio, about a degree or two, and then dropping down to 66 by New Year's. We do have this weather alert still in effect. It's just because of the poor air quality, asking people not to burn any wood until at least tomorrow. That's been in effect for about a week. All right, Chelsea, sending it back to you.
All right, Haley, thank you. The city of Long Beach launching its free Christmas tree recycling program tomorrow. It's appropriately called Tree Cycling. You can drop your trees off at 12 different locations all across the city of Long Beach. Check out our website at Fox LA. It's got all of those locations for you. This runs through January 7th, and the city also offering a curb pickup. That's just on January 7th. And a new smartphone probably under the tree for a lot of people this Christmas, lucky ones. But one of the first apps a lot of people rush to download is TikTok. But there's now a push in Congress to ban the app from government phones. This week on The Issue Is, Alex Michelson spoke about it with Congressman Adam Schiff, who's the chair of the House Intelligence Committee.
Do you think that TikTok should be banned from phones?
I don't think members of the government ought to use it on their phones. I don't use it on my phone. I wouldn't recommend others. So I would like to see the federal government not use TikTok. I have to think that there's a better way to deal with the risks posed by TikTok than banning it altogether in the United States. But we're going to have to find a way both to make sure that Americans' private data isn't stolen, and we have to be on guard for Chinese government's ability through the algorithms of TikTok to propagandize Americans. So we need to address those very real problems, but I wouldn't begin with saying that the solution is banning it in the entire country.
What would you tell your own kids, though? Would you say to them, don't have TikTok on your phone?
I don't know that it's realistic for parents to tell their kids not to have TikTok on their phone, but I would tell them that you need to be very careful that your private data, if you use TikTok on your phone, may not be secure. You should also be very mindful of the fact that what you see on TikTok is what TikTok wants you to see, and therefore you're being led potentially in a certain direction ideologically or in certain issues, and there are other things you're not going to find on TikTok because of the influence of the Chinese government. So beware.
So far, 19 states have banned TikTok on government phones. If you're worried about security, experts say you should block TikTok's access to your contacts. That prevents the app from using your data in a variety of different ways.
All right, it might not be the jolliest Christmas for Congress this year.
Yeah, some lawmakers not pleased with the passing of the spending bill. Fox News congressional correspondent Aisha Hasni has the latest from Washington.
Well, Congress may be out for Christmas, but this bill is still causing aftershocks in Washington. In a last-minute dash, Congress approved the massive $1.7 trillion government funding bill, also called the Omnibus. 18 Senate Republicans and 9 House Republicans helped Democrats pass this bill, applauding the $800 billion in defense funding. Democrats taking a victory lap.
Many Senate Republicans knew that this package was a good bipartisan deal. I thank them for their willingness to work together and deliver it for the American people. Let me just close by saying, look, I don't love everything in this bill. Quite frankly, I find these endless increases in defense spending year after year to be appalling.
Others say the bill has a lot of pork, and they blame their colleagues for rushing through this process right before Christmas. Here's Representative Pat Fallon on Sunday Morning Futures.
$3 million for a beef-friendly highway and $3 million for a LGBTQ museum in New York. It was an absolute piece of garbage, and that's why I voted not only no, but hell no.
House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy already threatening to kill bills sponsored by the Senate Republicans who voted for this omnibus if, that is, he becomes Speaker next year. The ironic part is the very thing lawmakers wanted to avoid happened anyway. Congress had to pass yet another stopgap bill for a week since it's going to take days for this omnibus to reach the president's desk. In Washington, I'm Aisha Hasni, Fox News.
King Charles III delivered his first Christmas remarks, sharing his late mother, Queen Elizabeth's belief in people's goodwill.
In the much-loved carol, O Little Town of Bethlehem, we sing of how in thy dark street shineth the everlasting light. My mother's belief in the power of that light was an essential part of her faith in God, but also her faith in people.
King Charles also praising healthcare workers, volunteers, and all those who spread light during dark times.
And Britain's Sun newspaper has apologized for a column slamming the Duchess of Sussex, but Harry and Meghan, they're not accepting it. The royal couple dismissed that apology as a PR stunt. They said the paper hasn't reached out to them personally. This all stemmed from a column by British TV personality Jeremy Clarkson. He wrote about Meghan, saying, quote, "I hate her on a cellular level, dreaming of the day when she's made to parade naked through the streets of every town in Britain while the crowds chant shame." He then talks about crowds throwing human waste at her. Clarkson tweeted an apology as well. The Sun has received thousands of complaints over that article.
Americans are sitting on a bundle of unspent cash, $21 billion worth on gift cards that they just haven't used. That comes out to about $175 per person. Creditcards.com says more than half of Americans say gift cards are the most requested Christmas item, and 1 in 4 admit they've lost those cards. At least 12 states have laws to get cash back on leftover balances. The box office takes a hit, but Avatar is still #1. The results from the weekend box office.
Plus, Santa Claus gets a helping hand from the United States Marine Corps. How they helped the jolly old elf. Stay with us. Well, Christmas usually a really busy time for movie theaters. People use the holiday to check out new releases, but not this year. The bomb cyclone wreaked havoc with the box office. Just too dangerous to drive. People hunkered down at home, but that didn't really hurt the Avatar sequel too much.
The way of water connects all things. Before your birth and after your death.
Avatar: The Way of Water has now earned more than $250 million in the U.S. And when you add in the international box office, that number is more than $850 million. As the year comes to a close, films have grossed more than $7 billion in 2022. That's almost 70% more than last year, which was, of course, impacted by the pandemic.
So here are the top 5. Avatar: The Way of Water earned another $56 million. That was down almost 60% from last weekend. And the next 3 films all opened this weekend. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, that one came in second with just over $11 million. Whitney Houston: I Want to Dance with Somebody, that earned $5.3 million. And Babylon took in $3.5 million. Violent Night dropped from 3rd to 5th place.
Yeah, actress Edie Falco shot Avatar 2 so long ago that she thought it had already been released and flopped. Falco was on The View recently when she revealed that she shot the role 4 years ago and just assumed that the sequel had already come out and just didn't do very well at the box office. So she was pretty surprised to learn that it was only released a week ago and was doing extremely well.
Okay, now what room do Americans spend more money on than any other room in their homes? Here's what a new survey shows. It may come as no surprise. 45% of Americans invest most on their kitchens. That's more than any other room in their house. The most coveted features of a dream kitchen remodel all have to do with wanting more space. We all do. It includes a large fridge, extra counter space, additional pantry space, and also extra shelf space.
Merry Christmas. The Rams defense had itself quite a Christmas day, accepting several gifts from the Denver Broncos offense. Highlights of a huge win at SoFi are on the way. And it looked like the Lakers might steal the Mavs Merry Christmas for a half. What happened in the third quarter ruined LeBron's historic day. That story next in sports. But first, our Arrowhead Sports Poll question of the night. Which of these NFL teams' seasons has surprised you the most? The Rams at 5-10. The Broncos at 4-11 with Russell Wilson. The Eagles soaring high at 13-2. Or the Buccaneers now 7-8 with their win tonight with Tom Brady at the helm struggling to make the playoffs. Head to foxla.com/join and cast your vote. The results at the end of sports.
Fox 11 Sports Desk is brought to you by Arrowhead 100% Mountain Spring Water, fueled by nature.
Gerard with us for sports. And Gerard, the Rams get a win in more ways than one, right?
Yeah, you know what, Hailey and Chelsea, when I read this first stat that I'm going to give you, it shocked me. I mean, I really couldn't believe it. Rare Christmas Day action for the Rams. For the first time in their 8+ decades of existence, the franchise taking the field on December 25th. Pretty hard to believe. Both Sean McVay's squad and the visiting Denver Broncos just 4-10, coming in with struggling offenses. At least that was kind of supposed to be the script today at SoFi Stadium. First quarter, Rams up 3-0, and the defense is ready to go. Russell Wilson's pass tipped, and Kobe Durant comes down with the takeaway. Interceptions, a huge part of the storyline in Inglewood this afternoon. And that leads to this, Baker Mayfield to Tyler Higbee. And watch him power into the end zone. Just like that, it's 10-zip Rams. Mayfield 24 of 28, 230 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. He was solid today. Next Denver possession, Wilson looking, and he's picked off again. Former teammate in Seattle, Bobby Wagner, doing the honors. This Rams defense had been talking about takeaways all season long, and today they produced big time. The offense continues to capitalize this afternoon. Cam Akers from the 2. Rams look like the defending Super Bowl champions for the first time in a long time. It's 17-0. Akers, 23 carries, 118 yards, and 3 scores. Second quarter, the offense continues to click. Mayfield to Higbee one more time. Rams scoring their first 4 possessions, 24-3 at this point. That's the first time it's ever happened in the Sean McVay era. 94 yards and 2 touchdowns for Higbee, receiving. Back to Wilson, rolling out to buy time. Jalen Ramsey waiting in the end zone with another turnover. Wilson just 15 of 27 with 3 picks on the day. But the Rams defense was not finished. Broncos backup Brett Rippon in for mop-up duty, and Durant welcomes him with open arms, and he's gone. 85 yards to the house for the touchdown. The Rams' first pick 6 in 32 games. What a day for the defense. 51-14, the final at SoFi.
It's unbelievable by our players today. So happy for those guys on Christmas. Just the way that they've continued to battle, to see it really all come together today was outstanding. I thought defensively, just to be able to get the 4 turnovers, Jacoby with 2, Bobby Wagner with 1, Jalen with 1, and then really to be able to get 6 sacks. You know, Murchison, who just met him 15 minutes ago, get a couple. Michael Hoyt, you know, Leonard Floyd in on the mix, just outstanding. I thought Raheem and the defensive coaches and the defensive players, they just did a great job today.
Also today, Aaron Rodgers and the Pack playing to keep their postseason hopes alive in Miami. First quarter, 4th and goal. Aaron Rodgers to Mercedes Lewis, the former Bruin. 1-yard touchdown. We're tied at 10. Second quarter, Miami takes a lead right back. Jeff Wilson Jr., 1-yard run, 17-10 Fins. Second half, the Pack stepped their game up. Green Bay trailing 20-13 until A.J. Dillon fights his way in for 6. We are now tied at 20-all. Fourth quarter, Green Bay now leading by 3. Tua Tagovailoa picked off for the second possession in a row. Devondre Campbell with the theft. Packers go on to add a field goal. They take a 26-20 lead. Less than 2 minutes now. Must drive for Miami. Tagovailoa again intercepted for a 3rd consecutive drive. The Packer defense shuts out the Dolphins in the second half. Green Bay goes on to win it 26-20. All right, the Lakers hit the holiday hardwood this afternoon in Dallas against the Mavericks. With today's appearance, LeBron James has now played in the most Christmas Day games all time in NBA league history, with 17, passing the late, great Kobe Bryant. Early on in Big D, LeBron and company had it rolling in transition. King James driving inside, banks in the tough layup off the glass. Now LBJ, full court pass to Thomas Bryant. He finishes with the jam, part of an 8-0 Laker run. Purple and gold up 11. Timeout Dallas. It's looking good. Later in the quarter, LeBron turns, hits the fadeaway. He's off to a great start. 10 points in the first 12 minutes of this one. And the Lakers in control. Second quarter, the King driving, finishing with the one-handed reverse layup. That's pretty. 38 for LeBron on the afternoon. And you'd think that would mean a Laker victory. But in the third quarter, the defense stayed in the locker room. Luka Doncic kicking out to Tim Hardaway Jr. He drains the 3-ball, and here come the Mavs. Now, former Laker Reggie Bullock finding Doncic inside. This is way too deep. You're never going to stop him in there. Luka finished with 32, and the Mavs extend the lead. Lakers turn it over. Spencer Dinwiddie kicking the head out to an open Hardaway Jr. for the layup, and now it's getting ugly all of a sudden. Late in the third quarter, Christian Wood spotting an open Hardaway Jr. He buries another jumper. Mavs score 51 points in the third quarter alone. Lakers lose 124-115. Despite the embarrassing third period, LeBron trying to find some positives in another disappointing outing.
Hardaway off the bounce.
Playing on this stage, you know, on one of the best days that we have in our league. It's usually like the opening night, it's the Christmas Day games, you got the All-Star weekend, you got the finals and playoffs, things like that. So it's an honor for me to be able to still be playing at the level I'm playing at and still be able to play on Christmas in front of the, you know, our fans that love our game.
He is biting his tongue. Not having AD is one thing, but the other guys are not stepping up nearly enough. All right, finally, results of our Arrowhead Sports Poll question of the night. Which one of these NFL team seasons has surprised you the most? The Rams, with all the injuries, just 5-10 as the defending Super Bowl champs. The Broncos, 4-11 with Russell Wilson at the helm at quarterback. The Eagles flying high, 13-2. Or the Bucs, now 7-8 with a win tonight, with Tom Brady struggling to just maybe get in the playoffs. And you say it is the Rams at 5-10. They have had a lot of injuries, but this is going to have to correct itself next season. Whether they have injuries or not, they cannot continue to play this way with what they've built at SoFi. All right, that's it for sports. More news coming up after the break.
Tangled under the Christmas tree, this dog named Chico. He's so excited for Christmas that he got himself wrapped up in the Christmas lights. His owner shared this video as Chico rolls around trying to get free. She says he's normally pretty lazy, but always gets a burst of energy when he sees the Christmas tree. Some of us can definitely relate.
Oh, hope he got out of there okay. Well, Santa got a really cool new ride up in the Arctic Circle. Some Marines in Alaska swapped his sleigh for a snowmobile. Check it out. Marines in the state worked with Santa to deliver thousands of gifts to remote villages, braving the winter weather to make sure that children all across Alaska could celebrate. The effort helped support the Toys for Tots organization, which delivers roughly 18 million toys to millions of kids every year. Such a great organization. And thank you so much to everyone who serves on this Christmas especially.
You have to put your Christmas hat on.
I'm putting my Christmas hat on. I'm putting it, okay, there.
Merry
I
Christmas.
will not be rocking this for another 365. I'm glad I made you happy.
Oh, Hailey. Hailey is the one driving this. And it's so fun. It's so festive.
Thank you. Thank you very much for watching. We hope you had a wonderful Christmas with your family. Start